watch him develop this year. The transfer from Boston University with the pull-up 2, and he hits. How much do you expect him to be a scorer as well as a distributor?
It totally depends on what the defense does. That's the beauty of Maurice Watson Jr. He takes what the defense gives him. There they went under the ball screen, and he stops and pops.
Pretty good effort by Austin Carr to save that errant pass from going out of bounds. Carr will back it out now to Gino Little's 12 to shoot.
It's a 2-3 zone. Saw a lot of this in the first game. This is totally a product of the new rules and the short shot clock for Greg McDermott.
3 to shoot for Nick Allen. Allen knifing inside. The runner won't go, and the rebound cleared by Cole Hoff.
Creighton's got to really make some hay, Kevin. You understand that this is the third game in 5 days for Texas San Antonio.
A couple of nights ago, 15 points. He was 3 for 8 from 3, but he found his shot and got 15 on the board in the first game.
And good to see him out there, too, coming off 2 straight knee injuries, had surgery last January, so it's good to see him out there. He's moving great. Do you think he likes Maurice Watson? A pass-first point guard for a shooter.
And Bowie, 5 to shoot. Jay's defending well in the first 2 possessions of this ball game as Littles with 1 on the shot clock has to hoist, and he throws the air ball. That's a shot clock violation. An excellent start for the Blue Jays, both on defense and on offense.
You got to run the floor hard. Maurice Watson's terrific at probing into the lane, getting a piece of the paint, and Zierden and the wings go all the way down to the baseline and get easy open looks often.
Kyrie Thomas can't connect on that one, able to keep it alive, and then it goes out of bounds off Thomas. It'll belong to the Roadrunners.
But Creighton's got to look down the floor. Texas San Antonio is going to show some three-quarter court pressure, and Creighton's going to have to attack it on the back end because there's going to be opportunities for jump shots and layups.
There's Gino Littles. That Gene, a former ABA player, and 3 different NBA teams head coach. Cavs, the Hornets, and the Nuggets.
Zierden with his dad as an assistant for the Wizards. And Little's dad was an NBA coach. Not a good coaching pedigree on the floor right now.
Oh, Watson picks up the foul. That is his first. And that's one area you have to be concerned about if you're a Jays fan, is Maurice Watson and foul trouble. There's not a lot behind him as far as running the point.
Yeah, one of the big questions this season is that backup point guard spot, and Maurice Watson Jr. cannot get silly fouls.
Good look for Ryan Bowie, and the senior from Louisville, Texas, rains it down.
And he's adjusting to being the man. Hasn't been the man since high school, and so that takes some time to get used to being the focal point of a defensive game plan, and you also have to be willing to be a little selfish and be aggressive to get some shots. But Bowie is certainly a capable scorer.
I mentioned he's from Louisville, Texas, but maybe getting back into a familiar area will help him. He played at Iowa Western Community College, which is just across the river from Omaha in Council Bluffs. The 3 no good for Zierden. As Gino Littles looks to push, trying to beat the defense down the floor, and Allen on the drive in is fouled. That'll go on Jeffrey Grossell. Second team foul, first on Grossell. And the Roadrunners will inbound. Different style for people who are hardcore college basketball fans from this UTSA squad on the offensive end.
Yeah, much more dribble, handoff actions, 4-round 1. Brooks Thompson felt like this suited his offensive personnel. As you see the rebound putback from O'Brien. That's all made because of the penetration, so it creates a rotation rebounding opportunity.
Tied up at 5, and there's the attack on the other end. Isaiah Zierden. You cannot sleep on this Creighton team. They're going to run as much as they possibly can.
You've seen now 3 times Maurice Watson look up the floor and find Blue Jays behind the defense for scoring opportunities. But UTSA's got to do a better job in transition defense. If they're going to set that pressure, you got to get defensive balance to begin with.
O'Brien will launch the big man from the corner to foul inside, trying to clear out for the rebound, and like Huff got tangled up in there with Bowie. Give it to Bowie, though. The foul is on Bowie, and that is his second personal foul, and that's bad news for the Roadrunners. Bowie had 16 points in the opener, and he's going to be saddled with his second foul.
That's where number 2, J.R. Harris for UTSA, is going to have to loom large in the scoring department. Just checked in.
On the attack, Watson end-to-end for the easy 2.
Again, he just reads and reacts. The defense gets in front of him. He sees guys ahead. He pitches it ahead there. No one stopped him all the way down Broadway. Easy deuce off the window.
9-5 lead for the Blue Jays. See a little Half-court trap coming out for the Jays, and a block shot by Huff, and able to keep it and break up, just tiptoed along the baseline.
That three-quarter court pressure, Kevin, is just to eat clock. It's not trying to turn you over, just trying to chew some shot clock. They'll fall back into 2-3 zone off of made baskets. Again, that's just Greg McDermott experimenting some different things here, as you see the great closeout and length from Cole Huff to block the three-pointer.
Been a game of mini runs to start. Jays opened up 5-0, a 5-0 run for the Roadrunners to tie it up, and now a 4-0 spurt for the Blue Jays. 3 on the shot clock and the turnover. Watson now looking to push. Here's Huff, open for 3 on the wing, and Huff drains it. Cole Huff gives the Jays a 7-point lead.
It's just amazing how much pressure Creighton puts on you in transition. And looking ahead, pushing it, and Huff trailing it for the triple.
Again, problems for Allen getting across the timeline. Here's Zierden on the drive. He is fouled. Isaiah Zierden is fouled, and that's going to be the intentional foul on Zierden. Not against him. It's on UTSA, and then some words being exchanged. So look at this one more time. Cole Huff, the 3, and the Blue Jays with a 7-point lead. After the foul, but then the technical foul on Mo Watson becomes his second personal foul.
See, and that's where the first cheap foul is the problem, not this foul, to me at least. Because I like when your point guard, your leader, comes to the defense of his teammates. That's important in the grand scheme of things, to have your teammates back. That's something that now Zierden knows, that no hesitation, Maurice Watson will have his back, but that's big, as now he'll be saddled with 2 fouls.
Getting the explanation right now from our officiating crew, and it is officially a flagrant 2 foul that has been called against UTSA. So the flagrant 2, and then the technical is for taunting from Mo Watson, which becomes his second foul. You're seeing the technical shots right now.
It's a tough situation. As a player and even as a coach, again, you like your guys having each other's back. You want to foster that kind of a culture, but you also have to be intelligent within that. And it's just that's where the silly first personal foul is the issue. So now Isaiah Zierden and Malik Albert, junior college transfer, will be on the floor. They both can run the point for Creighton.
Malik Albert working it over to James Milliken. Huff at the elbow with the jumper is good. Huff off to a good start. He's got 5.
His versatility's terrific. He can post up, he can shoot threes, he can put it on the deck a few times. 12 points a game at Nevada prior to transferring to Creighton. I think he's ultimately going to be Creighton's leading scorer this season.
Entry pass to Allen. Can't get it to roll off the glass, and it goes out of bounds to the Blue Jays. Cole Huff will inbound. A 16-6 lead for Creighton.
Important minutes, because we talked about that backup point guard spot still being very fluid. And Malik Albert, a junior college transfer as a scorer, has got to learn how to run a team.
One note to add to finish up the foul discussion. The flagrant 2 was on Nick Billingsley, the Omaha native, who's out.
Well, that's too bad. It was a silly play, but it's too bad. A young man from Omaha got about 20 tickets for family members and friends here. That's too bad.
Albert driving down the left side of the lane, and he's fouled. Jays on an 11-1 run as UTSA's hit just 1 out of its last 5 field goals, and a chance for more on that run at the line.
Very intrigued by Albert. Cat quick, great scorer, but can he assimilate into an offensive system and play his role? You don't want to take the scoring prowess out of him, but he's got to learn how to find ways to run a basketball team. Because, like we've said, that backup point guard spot's a big question mark. And Zierden's a guy that I think could see a lot of minutes at the backup point guard spot early while Malik Albert continues to get comfortable.
One more for Albert. He's got both of them at the line and an 18-6 lead for the Blue Jays. Gino Littles up the floor. Rotation around now to Harris. J.R. Harris trying to attack. Can't find any room. A.J. Cockrell off the bench for UTSA. Gino Littles again. 11 on the shot clock. Back it goes to Harris. The jumper strong. And the rebound saved by Milliken. Good effort by James Milliken. Albert on the attack. Hansen trailing on the play. Got the bucket and the foul.
It starts with a terrific effort from James Milliken to save it. Almost did a basketball no-no and save it underneath his own basket, but Malik Albert right on the spot. Take a look at the save from Milliken. Did a good job of surveying and seeing where his teammate was. And then Albert under control finding Hansen for the boost in transition.
15 foul on UTSA. The first on Allen as Hansen hits the free throw. Austin Carr will leave and Ryan Bowie returns to the lineup. Remember, Bowie coming back in with those two personal fouls.
Have to do it. The danger zone right now, 21-6. No sense in saving him for the second half because it might be too little too late.
Does this team look tired to you?
A little bit, yes. Especially with the style that they play and being predicated upon penetration kick. And there, traffic from Malik Albert coming out in full court pressure. That wears into your legs. And again, 3 games in 5 days.
First points in a long time after a 16-1 run. And we talk about a tired team, and this is why they're tired. A lot of frequent flyer miles logged for this team in the last week. That's from Thursday to now, and that doesn't even count. They're going home after this, then they're going right back out on the road.
Almost as the Kugler miles, man. That's almost as close as you.
3,122 miles leading into this game today. Then they'll go home. Then they'll go back on the road again as Cockrell picks up his second personal foul. So foul trouble starting to build. They've lost Billingsley. Cockrell with 2. Bowie with 2. Malik Albert on the penetration and a second turnover for Albert. And that's one of the things that Greg McDermott's going to be worried about is what happens when Watson's on the bench. Who runs this show for this Creighton team?
Always felt like the #1 attribute all backup point guards should possess is they don't turn it over. That's the #1 thing that coaches want out of your backup point guards.
Bowie strong on the 3. Albert with the rebound. Albert trying to push again. No hesitation from Creighton. They're not going to take their time getting down the floor.
I don't think this new 30-second shot clock is going to affect Creighton too much this year.
Inside it goes to Hansen. Hansen working strong down low. He's got 5.
Hansen's an interesting player. Really struggled last year, but was highly touted coming to Creighton. He's a guy that just needs to have a few good games strung together to gain some confidence.
The dish into the corner to Allen. Walked off, ball knocked away, right into the hands of Zierden. Now Zierden looking to push. No look inside. Great feed. Milliken finishes it off.
Well, how smart was that? Wow. Shot fake. Get the defenders up to create the passing angle for Milliken. That's outstanding.
The 3 taken and off by J.R. Harris. A whistle and a foul underneath. Hansen down low along with Milliken, and it looks like Milliken is going to pick up the foul. That'll be his first. 4th team foul for the Jays. UTSA will inbound. 25-8. Creighton on a 20-3 run right now.
It's got to be Bowie. Bowie has to start scoring the basketball. Harris has tried to get things going from beyond the arc. But right now, Bowie, when UTSA gets in a bind, they look for number 14, Ryan Bowie.
Our team Crumple off the bench for the Creighton Blue Jays, the freshman. J.R. Harris attacking Milliken. And it's out off the Roadrunners, belonging to the Blue Jays once more. Creighton picked 9th this year in the Big East. A team that came in, though, with a lot of unknowns. You didn't know what Watson was going to bring, what Huff was going to bring. Got some freshmen like Crumple that are going to contribute.
6 newcomers going to play significant roles this season. So a lot of question marks around this Creighton basketball team, but a lot of excitement because those question marks do have talent.
Milliken trying to get it inside, and the ball knocked out of his hands and out off the Blue Jays. Timeout on the floor. 11:37 remaining in the first half. All Creighton early, up 25-8.
The sleeper pick.
Intriguing prospect. Kind of just fell into Creighton's lap throughout the recruiting process. Was initially a Marquette recruit, but when Buzz Williams left, eventually found himself in Omaha, and the coaches have been raving about him.
He won the slam dunk contest this year at Blue Jay Madness to start off the season. Toby Hegner picks up the foul. 15th foul on the Jays. And some free throws coming for UTSA. They attempted 2 tonight, both coming from J.R. Harris. This is Terrell Scruggs who will go to the line for the first time tonight.
And one of the things about Creighton's roster is they have interchangeable parts, and they got guys that can play multiple positions. So this is one of their small lineups with Crumple and Hegner at the 5. So you got a 5-man who is exclusively a 3-point shooter. So that can put a lot of pressure on a defense and get you really spread out.
Hegner will hand back to Crumple. Kyrie Thomas. 15 to shoot now for the Blue Jays, who lead it 25-8. Thomas, Crumple trying to touch it down low to Hegner, and he couldn't handle it. And the turnover for Creighton.
Right idea. Get that ball in the high post. First spot you got to look is to that short corner area, just errant pass.
Fourth Blue Jay turnover of the night. Milliken will leave as Zierden returns for Coach McDermott. UTSA has not scored in nearly 3 minutes. Scruggs and Gino Little's looking to change that. Little's into the contact. Zierden nearly cancels a loose ball. Scruggs, the dish into the corner. Bowie open. Bowie hits the 3, and that's why he's got to be on the floor for UTSA. He is a scorer. He's got 6.
And he's going to have to score the ball for UTSA to have a chance.
Hegner trying to answer on the open 3. That won't go. Thomas battling for the rebound, but it's out of bounds to the Roadrunners. Good effort from Kyrie Thomas. Just could not keep it in play. Clement coming in now for the Blue Jays. Tyler Clement in for the first time. Malik Albert will sit down.
Clement's old reliable. Walk on. Scout team leader. Understands exactly what Greg McDermott wants, and he's steady as they come.
That miss a moment ago. The first Jays miss him. 7 minutes of game action. The jumper there for J.R. Harris, continuing a hard shooting night so far for UTSA. Just 4 of 15 from the floor.
UTSA is going to sit in a 2-3 zone to protect foul trouble right now.
Zierden will try the 3 over that zone. Can't get it to go. Crumple got a finger on it, but Harris pulls down the rebound. Now Gino Little's on the attack. Little hesitation. Drives all the way to the rim. Can't get the roll. But Gino Little's will go to the line. Pretty good explosion by Little's once he got into the open court.
The former walk-on breaking off the current walk-on there with quite an in-and-out dribble. Pretty cool story with Gino Little's. Earned a scholarship after starting 22 of 27 games. Brooks Thompson actually flew to Phoenix to tell Gino Little's in person, "You've got a scholarship, young fella."
Big moment for Littles, who can't hit the free throw. Bruce Thompson said he's going to be able to score a little bit more this year. He averages 2.5 points a game in his freshman year. But he loves his distribution ability, and he says, look, this kid's a winner. This kid knows how to win. And it's an underrated aspect of college basketball. You've got to have a guy who understands how to win, especially when you're trying to build a program into a winner.
And I think an underrated characteristic and skill is energy. And Gino Littles has a ton of energy. Watching practice last night, he was by far the most vocal, the most energetic, and that rubs off on everybody on UTSA.
Tyler Clement, no hesitation, going to the well. He'll go to the free throw line after the foul on Gino Littles.
So these are the dynamics and situations that coaches find themselves in for that backup point guard spot. Here you got a guy in Tyler Clement that is steady Eddie. He's not a great playmaker. He's not blessed with the the playmaking and athleticism that a guy like Malik Albert has. So what do you want out of that? Out of those minutes? Do you want a playmaker? Do you want a steady guy? And I think they're trying to answer those questions here in November and even December.
That foul was on Lucas O'Brien, his first. Team's 7th for UTSA. O'Brien with the ball. Bowie up came out to show. Harris lost it, taken away by the Blue Jays. Zierden grimacing a little bit after he picked that up and makes his way down the floor as Clement drives all the way inside. Won't get the shot to roll. The rebound pulled down by Scruggs. Littles on the attack. No fear from Littles. Can't get it to roll. Grossell with the rebound. Now Cole Huff the other way. Kyrie Thomas has been quiet tonight. Just one attempt after his 18-point performance in the opener got him Big East Freshman of the Week. Clement not quiet. Launches the three and he hits. Thomas off the bench as a scorer. He's got 5.
He's a guy that is a capable shooter, but only was 4 of 16 from 3 last year. So it's a good sign to see him knock down a triple.
Littles looking baseline. Threw it off the bottom of the rim. Clement open again. He'll launch. Can't get the roll this time. Halfway down, and it popped up into the arms of Lucas O'Brien.
I love it. Even the let it fly mantra trickles down to the walk-ons.
Clement looks at that point guard spot and says, hey, look, there's some minutes there. Maybe
absolutely. Absolutely.
Harris trying to drive baseline on Zierden. And a foul is going to be called. That'll be a one-on-one opportunity for UTSA. 25-7 run, though, for the Blue Jays. They've opened up a 30-12 lead over the Roadrunners. First foul on Zierden, sending J.R. Harris to the line.
Harris was a guy I know the coaching staff was really worried about. A junior college transfer who was capable of scoring in bunches.
And 14 off the bench in the opener. This is a defensive back as well as a basketball player in his high school days. Came over from Indian Hills Community College this year. One of the more prominent junior college programs in the country.
What a good-looking defensive back. That length.
And 8 interceptions in his sophomore year of high school.
Got to weather the storm now if you're UTSA. Try and chip away at this thing. You got off to a bad start. Sloppy in transition. Bowie got 2 personal fouls. Billingsley gets ejected. Got to try and settle down.
Bowie and Cockrell each with 2. Billingsley out after the ejection. Cole Huff with 7 points in this first half. And a 32-13 lead for Creighton. And a timeout on the floor. 7:49 remaining. And weapons all over the floor. And it's such a fun system that Indiana plays. And Creighton's not going to hesitate to try to run as well. So get ready for a fast-paced game for these Blue Jays against Indiana later in the week.
It'll be fun to watch Yogi Ferrell and Maurice Watson Jr. go at it. Be a good litmus test to see where Maurice Watson's at.
McAllen is in the corner and he finds the 3. The first true freshman to start in his debut since 2010 for UTSA. McAllen, a little bit of a tweener, but hits the 3 to start off his night.
A good-looking frame. A guy that can do a lot of different things on the basketball court. And I think the coaching staff's excited with what Allen can bring to the table.
Good hands by O'Brien in the post to deny the entry to Grossell, and then the jumper from J.R. Harris, and a little mini run going for UTSA. 5 straight for the Roadrunners. Huff at the top in transition. Can't find the 3. There's the rebound for Harris. Now Harris will navigate up for the Roadrunners.
Harris can score in bunches, so keep your eye on number 2.
O'Brien, good ball fake. Allen in the corner, pull up from 15, won't go. Rebound knocked out by Thomas. Brian Bowie, and it belongs to the Blue Jays.
Well, if you're Creighton, you're thrilled with the fact that it's 32-18, and Maurice Watson Jr. has been saddled with 2 personal fouls. Got those in the first 4 minutes of play. He is the guy that sets the table for everybody.
We talked about it right out of the top of the broadcast. That was so key to keep him on the floor. Maybe not as key tonight as it will be on Thursday when they're in Indiana.
He's gotten a silly foul every game so far, even the exhibition game.
Tip try by Grosseau is up and in the second. 7 points and 8 rebounds in the opener. Gets the tip in for his first 2 of the night. Quick jumper for Allen at the top. Zierden with the rebound for the Blue Jays, his second. Now Zierden on the push. Clement and Huff. Huff not afraid to pull the trigger, and he's fouled in the corner. So Cole Huff fouled on the jump shot. He'll go to the line for a pair. Nick Allen with his first 8th, or rather his second personal foul, 18th foul on UTSA. So another guy with 2 fouls for UTSA. Bowie, Allen, Cockrell, and Billingsley was ejected not because of 2 fouls, but because of a flagrant 2.
It was already an uphill battle for UTSA to come in and win this game, and they've made it an even steeper climb with all the foul trouble and issues they've had so far. But all things considered, you finish this final 6 minutes and 2 seconds, you go to halftime, you catch your breath, you never know.
Not good on at the line, 36-18 Blue Jays. Under 6 minutes to go in this first half. O'Brien with the handoff. Carr trying to find room. 16 to shoot. Littles back up top to O'Brien. Huff continuing to show out there on the edge. Here's the jumper for O'Brien, way off the mark with the shot clock winding down, and Zierden the rebound.
Really good defensive possession for Creighton.
Off the 3 in transition. Has 12 first half points for the Blue Jays. Matching his total from Saturday night at a timeout taken by UTSA. We'll take it with him as Cole Huff sparking the Blue Jays to a 21.
The ball, run the team, and then Cole Huff doing what he was brought here to do, and that is get buckets. 12 points so far for Mr. Huff.
2 years ago, top 12 in the Mountain West in scoring when he played for Nevada. And the jumper by Bowie quiets the crowd. Ryan Bowie with the 3. And Bowie's hit 3 from behind the arc in this first half.
That's one of the things you notice when watching UTSA on film. When they do get in a bind offensively, they dial up something for Bowie.
It would appear not to be a bad strategy.
No.
Inside looking low for Hansen. Got the roll, and he'll go to the line for 1 more.
Creighton's done a nice job of getting the ball into the zone. That Big East logo where you can do so much damage right in the middle of the floor. You can turn and shoot, turn and attack, and look opposite and at the short corner. Good zone execution for the Jays.
Nice bounce back for that young man. Zach Hansen didn't score in his 8 minutes played on Saturday. He's got 7 off the bench tonight.
And again, the biggest issue for Zach Hansen is in between his ears. He's just got to get some confidence. The talent is there. The physical skills are there. He's just got to get to where he's feeling good about himself. He could never get 2 good games in a row last year.
This is after a high school career that's among the best in high school history. Is the entry pass into the post taken away by Zierden. Back-to-back South Dakota Player of the Year, first to do it since Mike Miller in the state. Albert open for the 3. Off the feed from Hansen. And up the floor quickly comes Austin Carr, attacking end-to-end. Carr with a left hand, got the roll.
It's where with the new rules, guards got to do that. Just when the defense is on their heels, take it right at them. Understand that if there's any contact, there's likely going to be a whistle.
Here's Zierden for 3. Yeah. Zierden got just a glimpse at the bucket. And Zierden's got 10.
You know, people forget, Kevin, Isaiah Zierden, before he went down in January, was Creighton's 2nd leading scorer. He was off to a great start last year. And the coaching staff's hoping that he can pick up where he left off, but they didn't really know what to expect coming off that knee injury.
Well, even with the knee injury that derailed his season early, is work inside by O'Brien. That's 2. Even with that, he still finished 4th on the team in 3-pointers made, trying to find another one there from deep, and a foul underneath as Hansen with a little bit of a nudge called for the foul. 45-25, Creighton with the lead.
He doesn't need much, and if he gets a sliver offensively. This year, they're hoping that defensive stopper can be Kyrie Thomas, the freshman, and they're hoping that playmaker can be Maurice Watson Jr. So we'll see how Creighton looks in some of those close games this year.
And a playmaker in Watson that is not necessarily a guy that you think of that's going to go out and score 25 points as a playmaker, but a playmaker for others.
That's right. Can manufacture shots for other guys, get guys standstill threes. And they're hoping that's what he can be this year. When the game's on the line, the ball's going to be in his hands.
Joining us late, you're wondering why is Maurice Watson lounging on the bench like he's watching a movie. It is because he got 2 early fouls, the second on a taunting technical after a flagrant 2 was called on Nick Billingsley as he attacked Isaiah Zierden, who was attacking the rim, and Watson had some words at the end of that, got a technical, and he's been on the bench ever since.
Be real curious to hear Greg McDermott's thought on that play, because again, you like the spirit of looking after great pass, of coming to defense of your teammates, but nevertheless, it's a technical foul. They put him on the bench.
Frustrating there for Toby Hegner, 6'10" guy, got it, could not finish it right at the rim.
It was a great set, great look for a steal, and a great pass from Isaiah Zierden against the zone.
Harris tries the deep 2, and there's the rebound for Hegner underneath. Malik Albert trying to push once more. Had a couple of turnovers early as Huff in transition hits the 3. 15 first half points.
An underrated quality for scorers is understanding how to move without the ball to get shots. And Huff has done a nice job trailing in transition a couple of times, landing in threes.
Harris with the answer. J.R. Harris came in just 3 for 12 from 3 this year. That's his first make of the night. Milliken on the other end.
Two straight quick plays from Malik Albert. Simple plays, pushed it hard, attract the defender, made the right decision. It's not flashy. It won't be the one on Fox Sports Live, but it's what Greg McDermott wants to see.
J.R. Harris, the off-balance hook won't go. There's Albert with the rebound, and now Albert will push again. He's got 5 assists. Going to get another to Zierden. Yes, he can.
Coach Mack is going to show these minutes and these clips to Malik Albert and say, this is exactly what I need from you.
Littles. UTSA with 15 to shoot. Jay's up by 23. The spin off the hip of Albert taken away and a foul. Hegner grabbed the loose ball, and Scruggs got a hold of the ankle of Hegner to stop the break.
Well, Malik Albert, 6 assists, all in transition, and they've all been simple plays, but they've been effective plays. Perfect timing on the bounce pass that allows Zierden to catch and go right up and finish. So that's 3 straight assists for Malik Albert. That's resulted in 8 points for Creighton.
Toby Hegner, the lone returning starter for the Blue Jays. Strong looking for his first point of the night. Lucas O'Brien back in for UTSA. A.J. Cockrell will sit down. Isaiah Zierden will sit down for Kyrie Thomas.
And Toby Hegner's going to have to be a team-first guy this year. I mean, he started as a redshirt freshman, but because of the emergence of Cole Huff and because of the versatile pieces with Martin Crumpel and different guys, there might be times where he isn't playing a whole bunch, but he's vital to Creighton's success because of his skill set.
Malik Albert on the push. Albert, nice bounce to the rim. Boy, is Albert in a groove right now running this team.
Amazing when you just make the simple one. You just make the simple play. You don't try and thread the needle. You don't try and get too fancy. The game's not hard.
Scruggs inside over Huff. Got good position on Cole Huff, and once he got the ball, pretty good turn. Look at Albert again, driving all the way to the rim. He thought about throwing it down and just rolled it over.
The UTSA is thinking about, okay, Albert's spraying it to his teammates, so stick with the shooters, the lane parts. He makes the simple play, which was the easy lane.
15 fast break points already. They had 30 in the opener. Scruggs now backs it out to Littles. Littles with 7 to shoot. Nice bounce to the cutter, Bowie, and Bowie is fouled. Malik Albert is in some kind of groove right now, Nick, on the offensive end.
Yeah, just reading and reacting. Great bounce pass to Kyrie Thomas, running the floor with the flush. And just making the easy reads in transition.
7 assists, 4 points. for Albert. Foul a moment ago on Huff that sends Bowie to the line. UTSA 5 for 10 at the line before that free throw from Bowie.
Maybe Maurice Watson getting in foul trouble was somewhat heaven sent from the basketball gods for a guy like Malik Albert, who needed some game action to get comfortable being in that backup point guard spot. Although Maurice Watson is a transfer and he's a known commodity. I mean, he was 7 assists a game at Boston, 3rd in the country.
Practiced with this team all year last year.
That's right.
Malik Albert coming over this year from Mott Community College. He played his high school ball at King High School in the Detroit area. First team All-State in his senior year, then went the community college route, was a Division II junior college All-American.
Just a great scorer. He's got one of the highest vertical leaps on this Creighton basketball team.
6 to shoot for Albert and the Blue Jays. Albert with the dish into the corner for 3. Milliken hits it!
Well, you just couldn't draw up a better finish for a guy like Malik Albert. Watch him understand where he's trying. He's trying to just attract. See him get the step from James Milliken's defender. That's all that was in his side. He said, I'm going to hit that seam. I'm going to try and get the defense to take a step. I'm going to kick it to my guy, Millie, and Milliken drains it.
As more film comes out on Malik Albert, what are defenses going to do to adjust to what he's doing out there? Obviously, he's a pass-first guy at this point.
Right, but he's got a scoring background, because you better believe that the scouting report doesn't just begin with these 2 games. They look back at his track record at junior college, so it'll be interesting. My guess is they try and make him score.
Littles with the Gino Littles drains it from half court. A little highlight for UTSA in a half that didn't have many, as the Blue Jays take a 61-37 lead into the locker room. Those 2 fouls.
And see if he can get himself into a rhythm right away to get things started.
Austin Carr. Rolling around the Littles, finds Allen at the top. Littles nothing there on the baseline. Throws it back our direction. And it goes out. Turnover.
I was ready.
You were ready. You
ready to go.
One thing that I've always said about Nick Buys, unbelievable hands.
I was ready. I was bracing for it. Got to get the hands ready to go.
Impressed.
Yeah, I know.
Cat quick reflexes despite your rapidly advancing age. Maurice Watson Jr.
Don't let the hairline fool you.
Thomas, fadeaway won't go. Grossell inside, got the rebound. The foul on the floor. As Grossell was unable to muscle that one up. The Jays will inbound on the side.
It's human nature to get excited about all the new pieces and to look past what you have. And a guy like Jeffrey Grossell is probably a guy that isn't talked about enough. He really played well down the stretch last season, was finally healthy. And with his size in a conference like the Big East, he's going to have a big impact this year.
Watson to Huff at the free throw line. Back to Zierden in the corner. UTSA able to cover that one up. Watson will try to set it up again. Zierden open 3 this time. And Zierden hits the 3. He's got 15. His 3rd main 3 of the night.
Cole Huff is really good in a zone in that mid-post area because he can score. He can also set screens and pick and pop, and he created that opportunity for Isaiah Zierden.
Saw a little of this pressure early in the game. Then when Watson got the foul trouble, Jays really didn't apply much pressure after that.
They felt like they were maybe just getting themselves out of sorts in some full-court pressure situations.
Huff rips the rebound out. Now the Jays are going to push. Watson on the run. Zierden attacking the rim all the way up. Can't get it to go. And the rebound pulled down by the Roadrunners' Gino Littles.
That pass was maybe just a half a second too early, which got Zierden a little too far extended away from the basket. So here's this 2-3 zone. Watch the ball screen coming from Cole Huff. That's going to bring Littles over and leave Zierden all by his lonesome. So it's just a set ball screen. Another look at it, that gets Little all the way over. And so Zierden's wide open. You got to set ball screens on the top of that zone to try and manipulate the defense.
Nice bounce inside from Zierden. Grossell up a good seal, and Zierden able to find it.
Yeah, Zierden's by far the best post-entry passer. Maurice Watson, the best passer.
Hands from Watson to the other end, and Watson. That's what is going to bring to this team the presence, the hands, and the ability to take it to the other end.
But he's got to be smart with his aggression because we've talked about the foul trouble and how he can't afford to find himself on the bench.
Austin Carr with the answer in the corner for 3 for Carr. He's got 5, his first made 3 of the night.
Carr hasn't shot the ball well, but the staff feels like he's a capable shooter.
Off the Huff miss, Littles looking to push. Jay's got back quickly. Creighton by 26 here early in the second half.
This is good work for Kyrie Thomas, who's got Bowie right now. He's going to have to be the defensive stopper for Creighton. He's got to learn how to anticipate, fight through screens, identify action, and get there on the catch.
5 to shoot. Littles has to attack. 2 to shoot. O'Brien, the deep 2. Won't go on the rebound for Thomas. Thomas into traffic and turns that one over. But Huff able to poke it back out of the hands of Bowie, who didn't come get it.
You got to go meet the pass. That's a good call, Kev.
Zierden inside. The dish in the corner. Thomas open for 3. Rolls off into the arms of O'Brien.
And a quiet night for Kyrie Thomas offensively.
1 for 3. He's got 2 points. And there's a foul as Grossell picks up his second.
Talking to Darren DeVries, Blue Jay assistant, before the game, said they've actually had to get on Kyrie Thomas to be more aggressive offensively. Said he's almost a little too passive at times on the offensive end. I'd love to have a coach tell me, we need you to shoot more. We need you to try to be a little bit more aggressive.
You played in the days before email, but I can imagine you'd email a coach every day if you could.
Yeah.
Hey, I'm ready to shoot if you need me.
If you need me, just let me know. I'm here.
Bowie. Allen on the attack, on the spin inside against Thomas. And Nick Allen with a pair.
What a good frame for a freshman. You said it earlier, he's kind of a tweener. Not really a power forward, not really a small forward. But there's never been a time in basketball that's been better for guys like that.
And the rule changes have really impacted their ability to move a little free.
And the more versatile you are, the better. You see guys like Draymond Green in the NBA where he's not really a power forward but can play that spot as Bowie lines one up and knocks one down.
14 for Bowie, 4 for 5 from 3 for Bowie. Watson driving it all the way up and in. Didn't stop him, he's got 6. On the other end, Littles. Oh, quick to the other end, and that's going to be a goaltend as Grossell tried to clean it off the rim, and he's called for the goaltend.
Bowie sizing him up. Once you get the hands down, he's going to let it fly. Bowie keeping UTSA alive. The big question is, the way it's called right now, will it be called that way in February and March?
It's a great question because every year there are changes from non-conference to conference. And teams adjust as well, so the rules maybe don't have to be applied as much either. And a good effort to save the errant pass by Gino Littles, but it'll belong to the Jays once more. If teams that adjust, and so officials who are emphasizing it early to sort of drill it into the team's heads, they don't necessarily need to do it as much when you get into conference play because they've adjusted.
Right, and I think that's what everybody's hoping for right now, is that there'll be an adjustment period and the players will finally know how things are going to be called, and the coaches will too, and things will be all right. I will say so far, I haven't noticed much in watching. Remember 2 years ago, it was terrible. Too many whistles, too many fouls, too many free throws. I think so far through the first weekend of college hoops, I think it's been very good.
Well, it's a small sample size as the foul will result in some free throws here on Milliken. But a small sample size shows that points per game across the board up a little bit, possessions up a little bit. And again, it's just a few handfuls of games to this point in the early season. But it is a nice indicator that maybe, just maybe, the choices made are going to help the offensive end of the game and, quite honestly, the length of the games.
Yeah, every single rules change was made in the spirit of increasing pace and scoring, decreasing physicality, and decreasing stoppages in play. And so far, so good. But again, can they keep it up?
Watson. Maurice Watson. Whip into the corner of Milliken, and Milliken can't get it to roll. Hansen battling for the rebound, but it'll tip out to Littles. UTSA down 70-48, shooting 40% from the floor. As the jumper rattles home, and Ryan Bowie, what a nice spark for UTSA.
There's been an adjustment for Bowie, and learning how to be the man and being comfortable in this new offense that Brooks Thompson has put in. And once he gets comfortable with it, you know he can flat out fill it up.
A fade away on the baseline. That's good. Nick Allen. Cole Huff breaking another shot out of the toolbox on that one.
He's got great pace to his game. It's very methodical. He's always under control. And that mid-range is something that is a lost art and is difficult for teams to defend. What a block from Thomas.
Thomas to the other end. Can he do that?
He's fell asleep a couple of times on Bowie, but there he was wide awake. And he wakes up this Central Link Center crowd.
Driving inside, and a foul is going to be called. Thomas coming over to get a piece of that one, but he got a piece of the shooter as well.
6'10" wingspan, Kevin, right there on a freshman guard who was at a military academy last year, and it really paid enormous dividends for him. He's a lot more mature physically, emotionally, mentally. I talked to him, and he straight up told me he doesn't think he would have been able to come here and start without that year at the military academy. And this is different when they're homegrown, too. He's from Omaha. There's a big buzz around here because of young Kyrie Thomas.
No, I asked Greg McDermott earlier today. I said, give me one thing about Kyrie that people may not know. And there's a lot of things because he's obviously young and new in the program. And he said, in my 27 years, he is the most humble kid I have ever coached. He said it's amazing. He didn't believe he could play here. He's in the recruiting process. He's saying, I'm not sure I can play at Creighton. I just don't know if I can play at Creighton. Can I play at Creighton? I think he can play at Creighton.
I think he can, too.
Oh, nice move by Zach Hansen for the two-handed stuff. Crowd excited because they've passed the threshold to get free pizza in the arena. Always a big moment.
Yes, it is.
Free food happens. Watson pokes it away. Ball knocked free, though, from Watson by O'Brien. Here comes Littles, the floater, the hanger, and the dunk for Nick Allen.
Nick Allen shown some flashes here this evening.
Thomas splits two defenders, trying to dump it down low to Hegner. One ready for it. And UTSA the other way.
Offensively tonight, Kyrie Thomas has picked the wrong times to be passive and the wrong times to be aggressive. There's been times where there certainly hasn't been anywhere for him to go, and he's tried to make a play, and then there's times he's turned down shots or turned down driving opportunities. He's got to just learn how to pick and choose his spots a little bit better.
12:35 remaining in this one. Jay's still in control. Good catch by O'Brien, and he's able to reverse it off the glass and in. And UTSA back within 19. Watson. Entry pass deflected off the arm of O'Brien. Allen ranging over to pull it in.
Uncharacteristically sloppy decision-making from Watson here a couple times early in the second half.
Littles driving inside, and Littles with another two. He's got 12. And I'll tell you what, UTSA in the second half is 10 of 17 from the floor, and a foul is called. Bodies all over the place as Watson goes down and still down on the court and slow to get back. Watson came down on top of Gino Littles. It's a guy that UTSA needs to make sure stays healthy because he does stuff like this. Gino Littles with the penetration and the finish. UTSA hanging around.
Look at the scoreboard at halftime and see 61-37, but the good teams do it. And that's something I'm sure Greg McDermott and his coaching staff are frustrated with. It's been sloppy, a lot of turnovers, and UTSA has really settled in offensively.
Interesting dynamic with Watson at the line, and not to say that this will be the case all year long, but the offense really clicked at a high pace with Albert in the game in those last several minutes of that first half.
Well, and I think Maurice Watson has been eager to try and get it all back all the time he missed in that first half with being saddled with two fouls too quickly. So he tried to make too much happen right away.
And a turnover goes to the Blue Jays. Turnovers tonight. And a little bit of a problem for UTSA. That's 16 turnovers for the Roadrunners, 3 for Harris.
It's a huge problem in their loss at Loyola to start the year. You just can't go on the road and turn it over that much.
Watson, the dish inside for Hegner, and a foul's called.
Creighton's done such a nice job of screening the top of the 2-3 zone just to get that zone out of sorts to create shooting opportunities and driving opportunities. And Watson hit a seam and found Hegner.
Well, Watson created that turnover on the other, and that's 8 in the second half. The UTSA as Hegner misses the free throw. One more to come. Henry Thomas leaves for Isaiah Zierden. Zierden with 15 tonight for the Blue Jays. 17 for Huff, 15 for Zierden. Watson and Hansen each with 10. 4 Jays in double figures. Still 11 and a half to play. Austin Carr now to work for UTSA. Hegner's just 1 for 4 at the line tonight. The rest of the team is a perfect 13 for 13. As Milliken will start it up the floor for the Blue Jays. He thought about that 3.
He wanted it.
Skip across to Zierden. 15 to shoot. Hegner gives it back to Zierden again. Now 9 on the shot clock, driving. Watson the dish. Open is Zierden. Wide open 3 is good.
It's drive and drift. Baseline drive. The shooter's got to get to the opposite corner to make himself in the line of sight for his point guard. That's just great read and reaction from Zierden and a great pass from Maurice Watson.
That's what Watson can do when he's at his best. That kind of penetration and that kind of vision. There's the vision again as he finds Zierden. Same spot, same result.
I think Isaiah Zierden's got a new best friend. Did we just become best friends? Yep. He's got a pass first point guard for a shooter.
They didn't have to become stepbrothers to become best friends.
I'm glad you got that reference, at least. But it infuses so much energy in you, Kevin, as a shooter, knowing that if you run the floor and move and come off screens, you got a point guard that will find you.
Finds Milliken. That spot has been hot, but not that time. Zierden gets the rebound tipped out from Grossell. He'll try the 3, and he's fouled. Isaiah Zierden, 21 points. That's a new career high. It was 20 last year at North Carolina Central.
We talk about that drive and drift against the zone. So watch as the ball's going to get swung around. See where Zierden's at on the high wing, and then watch as the penetration comes on the weak side. And now Zierden sprints down to the corner. There's that drive and drift to get in the line of sight for an easy pass, and he knocks down the 3. That's a great display of movement without the ball for Zierden.
Is he waiting to drift until he sees Nick Allen, in that case, start to sink on the drive?
Yeah, you read that weak side defense, and if he shuts off the baseline, then you can kind of stop on that wing area. So you're reading a lot of different things in those situations.
In comes Malik Albert. Had those good moments at the end of the first half. Watson will get a breather now. Sits down with 10 points, 5 assists. And for Mo Watson, that's been a nice bounce back in the second half. You remember, only played 5 minutes in the first half with foul trouble.
Guy that has been just chomping at the bit to get back in after that redshirt year. I'm sure it's frustrating to get those 2 fouls early, but he settled in after being a little bit too jittery to start this second half to get it all back.
Ball knocked free, and that's going to stay with UTSA. 9:47 to go as Clement checks back in for Zierden.
Zierden certainly does not look like he's favoring his knee at all. It looks like he trusts it. He's been willing to mix it up, dive after loose balls, get in passing lanes. That's that last step coming off of knee surgery, is trusting the knee.
Carr on the drive, trying to slide past Grossell. He's able to do so, and he'll go to the line for a chance at a 3-point play.
Good read and play by Carr. And Grossell's got to be a little bit more agile. He can't just come and lock his feet. He's got to be ready to move his feet, even just 2 feet away from the basket. Good play from Austin Carr.
Jays have been good at the line tonight. Carr has not had an attempt tonight until right now, and can't get it to fall. Clement trying to knife through. Hegner open for 3, and he hits. Tony Hegner with a 3. You forget that he's a guy who can get that done.
Oh, absolutely. That's what he does. 125 of his 172 field goal attempts last year were 3s. That's his calling card. That's what he can do.
And And the foul is called against Grosel.
Job by Tyler Clement, a little wraparound bounce pass, and Hegner getting to his spot to knock it down. Again, a guy like Hegner, in Greg McDermott's system that's really predicated on ball screens and pick and pops, it's crucial for that ball screen setter to be able to shoot threes, to space the floor. And that's what Hegner can do. Ethan Raggi could do that. Doug McDermott could do that. And so when Creighton hits the recruiting trail, they have to identify versatile power forwards that can step out and shoot.
Down Cockrell, now Withers against Malik Albert. Bowie trying to penetrate, cannot find the range. No, yes he can. Bowie contested 2, and Bowie has 21.
Got to feel great for Bowie tonight, even the losing effort. He's going to have to be the guy moving forward. And that's what these trips are really all about for a team like UTSA, going on the road to take on Loyola and Clemson and now Creighton. And Bowie's going to have to be the guy. When they get in conference play, he's going to have to be drenched in confidence and making shots. And it's games like this that help, even though you lose, it helps that confidence moving forward.
He had 29 a year ago against Southern Utah. And Brooks Thompson said, look, he's doing a great job. But all summer long, it was Ryan Bowie and Gino Littles. They were the guys who led this team throughout the summer. Jay's got on the court in competition over the summer, took a trip in August to Italy, and Greg McDermott has said multiple times over the course of the last couple of months how big that was for this team, meshing the new parts with some of the returning players.
Yeah.
Only one returning starter, so you got some of these guys used to each other on the floor in a competitive situation, and a chance to bond away from home on a trip to Italy.
Yeah, you got to build that camaraderie, which is really important. Every great team is very tight-knit. But you have so many new pieces, trying to fit all of those pieces together in the puzzle. And having those 10 extra practices, heading over to Italy, actually getting in some games and playing has really allowed Creighton to come out and play so well here to start the season. They'll have a tall task, though, taking on Indiana here in a couple of days.
Greg McDermott said, you get a chance for the players to see the coaches in a less formal setting. Those guys have, a little more relaxed.
Yes.
It's not the hardcore portion of the schedule. It's a trip to Italy. Albert on the push now for Creighton. Milliken. Inside, Crumple couldn't finish that one. And it'll stay with Creighton. 20 on the shot clock and 8:19 remaining in this second half. Jay's up 92-65.
You get used to it with Creighton, but in some of these non-conference games, scoring was difficult at times last year. But 92 points is 92 points. I don't care who you're playing. You have to make shots.
Clement hits the field. 95 points. Still with over 8 minutes to go.
13 made threes for Creighton tonight. That's the identity of the program, Kevin. And they go out and they sell it, they recruit it. They want shooters.
A little hesitation by Scruggs to get the angle on Crumple. Leaned in with the left shoulder and then went around the other way and drew the contact. Timeout on the floor, 7:59 remaining in this second half. And that spot in Hawaii.
Cole Huff's a really, really good kid. The coaching staff really likes him, and I think there's no question. You look at Huff right there, right next to him, Maurice Watson. Creighton doesn't land those two guys without the move to the Big East. Because both those guys talked about wanting a bigger basketball stage. And Fox Sports 1 and the Big East Conference provides that stage. And you're seeing immediate dividends of the conference change from Creighton.
Hegner on the drive with a little flow.
I see that a lot from Hegner.
7 points for Hegner. Jays on another 6-0 run. Seems like they've been on a 6-0 run almost the entire night. Creighton dominating this one in their final tune-up before the first big test of the year for the Jays as Carr airballs that three, saved by Ryan Bowie. Like if you're Brooks Thompson, that UTSA, despite being down, still really hustling, working hard, trying to get better. That's what these games are all about for these guys is, yes, they come in, yes, they're getting a guarantee, but they come into this situation and they want to figure out, all right, how can we take what we've done in this game, apply it when we get into conference play? How can we use this experience to be better as a team?
And he'll have great things to show him on film. Some of the sloppy play early, some of the sloppy transition basketball, Bowie getting in foul trouble really hurt him. But I think he'll show him some good things here in the second half. As you see, Little's doing a good job of getting to the paint. He's done a really nice job of putting pressure on the defense. But UTSA shot 64% from the floor in the second half. They've really done a nice job. And that's what you want. You want to find some positive things to build on, so you're going home with something to build on.
Foul on Malik Albert, his first. One more for Gino Littles, who's got 13 tonight. Littles perfect on that trip to the line. Creighton's lead is 30, 97-67. The team picked 9th this year in the Big East. Creighton Blue Jays looked awfully good in their first 2 games. 93 in the win over Texas Southern, 97 and counting here tonight. The 3 from Scruggs is off of the rebound Milliken.
And preseason conference rankings are often about, do you have more answers than questions? And Creighton at this point still has more questions than answers. And so I know it didn't sit well with a lot of the guys on this basketball team. But I think when you take a step back, it does make sense. I do think Creighton will finish better than 9th. But they do need all these new pieces and parts to come together and click as soon as possible.
And a tie-up as Carr gets tied up with Higner. It'll belong to the Blue Jays.
That's why minutes like the final 6 minutes and 9 seconds here are important for guys like Malik Albert, important for guys like Martin Krampel, because they need game action, and the coaches need film to be able to show them this and that. And it's amazing what film technology has done in the boom of it over the past decade. How now with synergy and different software, you can go and clip out all of individuals' minutes instead of just watching the game and trying to fast forward. Okay, are you in now? Are you not in? You could go with one click of the mouse, get all of Malik Albert's minutes, and he can sit in Greg McDermott's office, and there can be great teaching moments there from coach to player.
Clement open for 3, can't get it to go. Krampel trying to tip that one in. The foul is called on the floor as Higner comes diving out of there with the basketball. It'll be Creighton ball to inbound after the foul on A.J. Cochran. It's his 4th. 6th team foul on UTSA in the second half. Creighton with 8. Inbound Higner. Krampel's tip won't go, and Little's able to pull it in. UTSA trailing by 30. Littles driving it up and in, and Gino Littles providing the spark once more. He's got 16. Albert in the corner, the 3 up and won't go again. Bowie the other way.
One where at some point you maybe do need to turn down an open look in transition, see if you can't execute in the half court.
Clement with the foul underneath, and free throws coming. Tyler Clement with his 2nd personal foul. Jays have not scored in over 2.5 minutes. Still lead at 97-69.
It is hard when you think about the journey for UTSA to go from jump from conference to conference to conference over a short period of time, where you can never really get your feet under you in terms of what you need to address for your roster given the situation in that conference. Because Kevin, you call a lot of games. Every conference is different. Every conference has different identities, and so that can't be talked about enough for the journey for UTSA to now eventually land themselves in Conference USA.
Albert back to Milliken, left alone for 3. That's a bad decision to leave him alone as he gets 100 points. First time since November 14 of 2014 that the Jays topped the century mark. That came against Central Arkansas last year.
That's 10 assists from Malik Albert. Pretty good night for him.
It goes into the corner to Littles. Littles on the drive. His shot blocked underneath by Krampel. And on the push, Crumple, the dish out to Hegner for three. Rebound through the hands of Crumple to Austin Carr. Creighton's going to get a much bigger test coming up in 2 nights in Bloomington, Indiana, when they take on the 14th ranked Indiana Hoosiers. That running game will be tested against a team that loves to run in Tom Crean's Hoosiers.
You're going to have to be smart in how often you're pushing it in transition. Because if you come up empty in a couple of trips, you know, Indiana's probably going to convert on the other end.
Timeout on the floor, 3:57 remaining in this second half. Creighton in control.
But I married her, so it did go well.
Well, what choice did you have?
I had no choice. I had no choice.
Austin Carr will work it up for UTSA. And I believe the clock started running.
Speaking of clock issues, one of the new rules this year is the officials can go to the monitor and review a shot clock made or miss at any time during the game, which to me is just a no-brainer. You know, the fact that the old rule used to be it only could be at the final 2 minutes of the game sends the wrong message that the most important part of the game is the final 2 minutes, and that's not necessarily true.
Peering inside, couldn't find anything. Bowie bumped by Crumple in the corner. And for Crumple, that'll be his third personal foul. 10-team foul on Creighton. A couple of free throws coming for the Roadrunners. Bowie will shoot a pair. Tonight he is 2 for 2 at the free throw line. 21 points tonight for Bowie. Bowie rattles that one home again. He's closing in on his career high at 29 last year against Southern Utah.
He was in double figures 22 times last year. He certainly knows how to score.
I mentioned it earlier. He played 2 years in this area, in the Omaha metro area, Iowa Western Community College, which is just across the Missouri River in Council Bluffs, Iowa.
He was actually a teammate of former Creighton guard Devin Brooks, graduated last year.
15 to shoot as Albert dishes to Milliken for three. Rebound tipped around. Crumple able to pull it in, then throws a wild one up as he feels the contact and draws the foul. A.J. Cockrell with the personal foul. That's his fifth. He has fouled out of the ballgame. And Lucas O'Brien will check in. Now, this is one of the rules changes that is intended to speed up the game. You remember in previous years when a guy fouls out, it's like a de facto timeout. Coaches huddle everybody up. And, I'm taking a minute to decide who I want to bring in the game. You don't have that time anymore. You have 15 seconds, and then you got to get the guy into the game.
And coaches would always use it as a timeout. They'd call over everybody, and they draw up something where they're supposed to be figuring out who's coming in the game, but instead they're stealing a timeout. And over the course of time, coaches have just gotten a little out of hand with that. So I like that they've made that rules change and trying to speed the game up.
Eventually, you'll get a warning the first time that you can go beyond that time. The second time, it's a Class B technical, which means the other team gets one free throw. They made it a Class B to try to encourage officials to call this and make sure it gets called so that it does the intended effect and speeds things up. Hegner left alone for three. The high arcing rainbow three flows through for Hegner. His second made three of the night. He goes into double figures with 10 points, the 6th Blue Jay in doubles tonight.
And the 15th three for Creighton. 5 different Blue Jays have knocked down a three. So when you game plan against a team like Creighton, who are you stepping off of? Who are you trying to make shoot? That is going to be so difficult for teams going against the Blue Jays. Because if Maurice Watson can get into the paint, he's going to find shooters at a high rate, and those shooters are going to make shots at a high rate.
And a foul's going to be called as Hegner reaching in on Allen. Picks up the personal foul. Hegner with his second, and free throws coming for Allen.
And along those, to finish up the thought there, that's why I think one of the biggest aspects of this season for Creighton is how well Maurice Watson can score. Because I do think ultimately teams are going to press out on those shooters, and they're going to dare Maurice Watson to make shots in the paint. So can he get in the paint and make teams pay for not stepping off shooters? And there could be nights where teams are going to say, listen, we're going to make Maurice Watson score 25, 30 points. And he's got to be able to answer the bell and be able to do that. I think he's scheming it for a later date with Jeffrey Dressel. Going to see him have to score 30, and that's what's going to have to happen. But
is that the sign for 30?
That's the sign for 30. That's the Philadelphia sign for 30.
Malik Albert will walk it up. Jays dominating this one, 103-75. They've been in control throughout as Krompel turns that one over. Play a little sloppy down the stretch, though, with these backup guys on the floor. And these are minutes that Coach McDermott needs to see so they can get plays like that as Krompel throws it out of bounds.
Well, one of the things you see there is not everybody's comfortable at the high post in a zone because you're having guys all around you. And certain guys are not comfortable. Cole Huff is. Martin Krompel did not look comfortable there and turned it over, but got it back with the swat.
Kyle Massey into the game for the first time tonight for UTSA. Massey's got the basketball. See the size, 5'10", 160, but Massey almost wasn't going to be on this court, Nick Bob.
No, he wasn't. UTSA held some tryouts to add another guard as a walk-on, and Massey had a decision to make when he made the team, because if he didn't make the team, he was going to go be a Navy SEAL.
I like how that's the option.
Yeah.
I'm going to become a Navy SEAL, or I'm going to walk on and play college basketball.
I'm going to be on the scout team, or I'm going to be one of the 20 most elite human beings on the planet. You know, it's not necessarily decided between Super Salad.
No, I would agree with that. Milliken trying to keep it alive for the Jays, now tied up, and it'll belong to UTSA.
Let's see if Massey's got some Navy SEAL in him. See if he can get in
We were told that when he entered the game, he was going to repel. Unfortunately, that did not happen. He'll bring it up, though. He's played in now just 2 games, played 2 minutes in the last time out for the Roadrunners. Little ball fake. He'll launch the 3, and he hits his first 3 and his first points of the year. Kyle Massey raining it down.
The almost Navy SEAL. Looking good.
Much less dangerous to shoot 3s.
How about the confidence, though? Little ball fake. They step off him. He sat on the bench for 39 minutes and drilled it.
What do you have to lose?
Yeah.
Get in there and shoot the 3.
Navy SEAls can't be fearless.
Looking for a sign of a Navy SEAL in him. There it was. Harris inside, and it goes out of bounds to the Blue Jays. Let's look one more time at Kyle Massey.
Mr. Navy SEAL. Look at the ball fake. I've been sitting 39 minutes. Get that 3 ball.
Reminds me, outside of the whole Navy SEAL conversation, of a young Nick Bob. Right off the bench.
Coming on in. Yeah. Garbage time, baby.
Malik Albert. Jays are going to have to shoot it one more time. Albert will do the honors. Albert will launch, can't hit the 3. And the rebound underneath for Nick Allen. Bowie will run it up and dribble it out. And the Creighton Blue Jays are going to move to 2-0 on this young season. And a date with the Indiana Hoosiers beckons on Thursday for Creighton as they win 103-78.
Going to be an early measuring stick to see where this Creighton basketball team is at. But so far 2-0 and have looked terrific.